Recently, I saw a Winnie the Pooh fabric collection by Riley Blake. Now, this is a quilted cotton collection, so if you haven't seen these, they usually have a theme and then a few different prints that might come in a couple of different colors for each print. After seeing this, I had a lot of ideas for baby outfits, and conveniently, Mom actually needs a baby gift. So I bought 4 different fabrics and got to work. Now, since there are quite a few pieces that I'm working on here, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about any of them. So first up is this blue fabric that only has Pooh Bear on it, and I decided to make a simple newborn diaper shirt. I used a modified version of the Baby Summer Clothes pattern by Old Fashioned Baby. Now, the original shirt was front closing. I just kind of switched it so that it has a back closure, and I show how I did it in a previous video, which I'll link in the description. Since the pattern is already altered, assembly is fairly easy. I sew the back shirt pieces to the front at the shoulder seams. While the shirt is flat, I hem the sleeves and sew them to the armhole. I have 4 collar pieces. I paired them up for 2 collars and sewed around the outer edge, flipped it right sides out, pressed and top stitched. Then I basted the collar to the neckline and sewed a piece of bias tape on top. I sew the front to the back at the side seams. I hemmed the bottom and sewed the buttonholes before attaching the buttons by hand. To finish the neckline, I clip the curves, fold the bias tape under, and use a whip stitch to hold it in place. Next project is this cream fabric with bees and honey pots. For this, I'm using the Children's Corner Johnny pattern, which is a romper in size 6 months with a smocked insert. I already have a sew along for this pattern, which I will link if you want more detail than what I'm about to give. For the smocked insert, I used the Teddy Bear Bishop plate by Cross-Eyed Cricket. I did 1 bear right in the middle of the insert and used 2 shades of yellow to make it look like Pooh Bear. For the border, I did red cable stitches at the top and bottom as a nod to the Disney version. Then I set about assembling the front and back pieces of the main romper and did the same for the lining. Once all of the pieces were assembled, I attached the front to the back at the side seams. I then sewed the main and lining pieces right sides together along the top edge. I also sewed them at the pant hems and then had to pull the stitches out because that's not when they're supposed to be sewn. I clipped the corners and curves and flipped everything right side out. Now I could twist the leg hems so that the main and lining fabrics were right sides together and sewed them. Then sewed the inner leg seam, leaving a hole in the lining to flip it right side out. I stitched the hole closed, top stitched the top edge of the romper, then added buttons and buttonholes to the shoulders. And the Johnny pattern does have a shirt that's meant to go under it, which I made using some scrap red fabric. I don't have any video of it, but it's basically put together the same as the diaper shirt, except I left off the collar. The last outfit is a shirt and shorts set made from the Children's Corner Robert pattern in size 12 months. I do plan to do a more detailed sew along for this outfit, so you can watch for that if you want a more detailed look at this. For the shirt, I used the print with all of the Winnie the Pooh characters on it and a mint green background. I did the short sleeve view, and surprisingly, the assembly for this again ended up a lot like how I did the Diaper shirt, except that it's a different type of collar and it closes in the front. The shorts are made from a multicolored plaid fabric, and it's from the same pattern. And again, a more detailed video is coming soon. So I had a few fabric scraps and decided to make a bib and burp cloth set. I cut the patterns from the printed fabric first. For the bib, it was the blue Winnie the Pooh fabric, and for the burp cloth, it was the multicolored plaid. This is a contoured burp cloth. It's not my pattern. I'll link the site that it's from in the description. It was a free online pattern. For the bib pattern, I think I just traced an existing bib and added seam allowance to it. Unfortunately, I don't know how to digitize or share patterns. But I'm not reinventing the wheel here, so you should be able to find a pretty similar pattern online for free. As long as it's one that doesn't use binding around the edges, it should work the same. Then I cut the pattern out again from flannel for the backing. I placed the pieces right sides together, so around the edges, leaving an opening for toning. Clip the curves and corners and flip it right side out. Then press and top stitch, making sure to close the hole as I go along. Now the burp cloth is finished, but the bib still needs a closure. This can be as simple as Velcro, but I have plastic snaps, so that's what I used. Lastly, I made a rattle. There's no footage of this one either. It is another free pattern that I found online. This one has different animals that you can make it to look like. I did the rabbit ears because I think they're more distinctive, and I don't actually put any kind of noisemaker in it. And here it all is. It was really fun making a themed baby gift. The only thing I forgot to make was a blanket. If I had thought about it before I ordered my fabric, I would have gotten one more piece from the collection, which was a map of the 100 Acre Woods, and then I would have backed it with flannel for a receiving blanket. Thank you for watching, and I hope you'll join me next time for another handmade happening.